What's up YouTube, Doomnyc here to give you deck profile number 10. This is my Gaia OTK deck. I've actually used this deck for a long time and this deck works really well. I don't know about, how this deck would run nowadays because I haven't played it in a little while, but I know that this deck was very, very competitive. This deck has a lot of outs. And well, you're gonna see why right now. I play a little bit different than some other players, but I play the ritual kind. So let's start it off. 3 Manju. This is the best card to play first turn because you can't attack. So this is the best card to play first turn. And depending on what you have in your hand, you're gonna grab like that ritual spell or the ritual monster, whichever you need. Next we got 2 Beta, the Magnet Warrior. 1700 beater, and he's a rock type and he's a normal monster. Normal monster, that's key. Alright, then we got 2 Archfiend Soldier. This is a 1900 beater. He's a fiend, he's dark, and he's another normal monster. So it works really, really good with this deck. Then we got some big beaters coming up. 3 Earth Giant Gaia Plate. He's a level 8 rock type and he's 2800. So he's great to use to make Gaia. And his effect, like, any monster that he battles with, their attack and defense get halved, so that works really good in case, and he's special summoned really easy. Like, you remove 2 rock types from the graveyard and you can special summon him. So if you need that extra push for game, like, this guy is really good for that. And then the last rock monster, 3 Valkyrion. You basically just use him because he's 3500 attack, so it's like, when you fuse something like a fiend type on him, like the attack's always going to be really high. You can't summon this guy like with any card in this deck, but that's okay because most of the time, you're going to be fusing him from the graveyard, so it's all good. 1 Dark Necrophere. Alright, let's go on to the fiends. I used to run 2 of these like back in the Crush Card days, but when Crush Card got banned and then Demise went to 2, then it was like, okay, take out 1 Necrophere, put in the other Demise, and then, we got a pretty good deck here. So, yeah, only 1 Necrophere, 2 Demise. I love this guy. You ritual summon him to the field, you pay 2000, you blow up the field, which is great for your Gaia OTK, so this works out phenomenal in the deck. 2 Dark Master's Zork is another ritual card monster, and you roll a die. If you roll a 1 or a 2, you destroy all your opponent's monsters. You roll a 3, 4, or 5, you get to choose which monster you want to destroy, and if you get a 6, you destroy your own monsters. But 1 out of 6, I'll take that any day. And this is really just for getting rid of like those annoying Spirit Reapers, stuff like that. Well, even if Spirit Reaper's on the field though, with Gaia's effect, he's gonna eat him anyway. So, but yeah, this is really good, and a big staple to the deck. And then the last ritual monster, 2 Masked Beast. He doesn't have any effect, but he's an 8-star and he's 3200 attack. So him and Valkyrion give you 6700 attack with Gaia. That works out extremely well when you're pushing for that OTK. Alright, so that was the ritual stuff. Now let's go on to the spells. We got 1 Allure of Darkness. This deck ran a little smoother when this was at 2, but we'll work with it at 1 just for some draw power. 3 Trade-ins. Yeah, you got 12 level 8s, so you have to. Especially the first target for this card is always going to be Valkyrion. Always dump him because you can't. He's the only card in this deck that can't be summoned, and you saw how many big monsters there are in this deck. So 3 Trade-ins. Advanced Ritual Art. Okay, this card is so broken and is so good in this deck. Basically, I'll use this all the time to put Demise on the field, and I'll dump like the 2 betas from the deck because it just works, in unison with each other. Like you get the Demise on the field, you blow up the field. Then if you got Gaia Plate in your hand, the 2 betas that you just dumped, you get to special summon Gaia Plate. And then if you have like a Dark Calling, whatever's in the grave, and then that's just like OTK after OTK. That's why it works so good. 2 Contract with the Abyss. This lets you ritual summon any dark monsters, so instead of having like the separate cards for each of them, this works with all 3 of them. So that's why this card is so good. And you know, you use this with anything. Either 2 level 4s or 1 level 8, like the Valkyrian, goes to the graveyard, and then bam, you get 1 on the field. It's really good. Okay, 2 gold Sarks. This is what I use in the deck. I know a lot of other Gaia players don't use it, but I use it because if I draw this first turn and I play that Manju, I'm gonna play the gold Sark and get Heavy Storm. So 2 turns from now, my Heavy Storm is going to be able to get played. So before your opponent really gets to set their base, they already got Heavy Stormed, and Gaia is about to be hit on the field. So, you know, the game is going to be over shortly after that. 2 Dark Fusion. I used to run 3 Dark Fusion, 2 Dark Calling when Dark Calling was at 2, but when Dark Calling went to 3, I went to 2 Dark Fusion and 3 Dark Calling. And of course, Dark Calling is like awesome in the deck, so you gotta run 3 of those. And then Heavy and True Nade. These are your 2 boss spell cards. You gotta use this in the deck. This is to clear up back rows so that you get to attack freely with your Gaia, and that is a must for the deck. Then for the traps, we got 1 Divine Wrath. The only reason why Divine Wrath is in the deck, I had Solemn in the deck, but I switched it for Divine Wrath because of Battle Fader. Battle Fader, like, it's not... See, Gores is okay because you'll still be able to, you know, they'll have to take an attack, and most of the time that'll be game over. But Battle Fader, you know, he gets Special Summon, ends the battle phase, and they take no damage. I don't like that. That's like a big card to stop this deck, so Divine Wrath will stop Battle Fader right in its tracks. That's why I got that in there. And then 3 Reckless Greed. This deck has a tremendous amount of draw power, and that's why this deck always OTKs like 2nd or 3rd turn. That's the way it was built, and that's the way how it plays, and that's why there's so many draw cards. And Reckless Greed is definite, especially when you need like that. You're looking for that Dark Calling, and you know, your last resort, Reckless Greed, you draw 2. Alright, let's go on to the side deck. We got 2 Doom Caliber Knight, 1 Gores. That's it for the monsters. We got 1 My Body, 1 Brain, just in case, you know, you want to brain control that Dark Armed or something. MST, Dust Tornado for more back row, because back row destruction is really important. 2 Bottomless, Mirror, Torrential, Starlight Road, Solemn. And if they're playing Trap Heavy deck, 2 Royal Decree. If I wasn't playing Reckless Greed, then I'd be playing 3 Royal Decree just to stop all, you know, traps, period. But because you need the Reckless Greed, like, it works so good in the deck that I'll side the Royal Decrees. And your extra deck is pretty simple. 1, 2, 3 Gaias and 1 Stardust, just in case you have to side in that Starlight Road. So yeah, that is my OTK Gaia deck. If you have any questions at all, I know this deck inside and out, so please comment on the video, ask me any questions. I'll tell you exactly how this deck gets around any situation. So please, yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, YouTube, peace.